What's going on, everybody? What is going on up in social media, everywhere, cyberspace, universe? What's going on? James Hollingsworth of Working People's Podcast coming to you live, streaming live on multiple platforms, including YouTube and Facebook. On Facebook, we are on James Hollingsworth, my personal page, right here on Facebook. And we're also on the Working People's Podcast Facebook page. And we're streaming live to Second Friendship Missionary Baptist Church, where my brother, my friend, the Honorable Bishop, my friend, my buddy, Rodney Williams is the pastor of the ship. So shout out to the ship. And if you come through, share this video with your friends, your neighbors, and everybody, because we're about to talk about something that I think is going to help and be beneficial to a lot of people. And it's going to share some personal things I want to share with you, but I believe it's going to be, let me make sure I have audio. Yes. And I really think it's going to, I say it's going to bless you. It's going to help you. It's going to really, hopefully, inspire you and cause you to experience maybe just a renewal of vision for your life and some in terms of planning your future and just seeing how your steps are going to progress in your life moving forward. Perhaps maybe sometimes you feel stuck, and I believe that one of the reasons why, but it was something I forgot to say. Welcome to the Working People's Podcast, where everybody desires to build generational wealth and a financial legacy for their families. But I believe that the reason why sometimes there's a connection between resources, money, and purpose, right? And the reason why I believe that is because I believe that the resources that we need, that resources are connected to our vision and our purpose for our life. And when you find your purpose, literally the resources will chase you. They will chase you down. You'll miraculously, if you want to use that word, you'll meet people. You'll start being connected to the people that you need to be connected to. But I believe there's a direct connection to making sure that you're walking in purpose, and every vision and mission needs resources. And I believe that those resources will be abundantly available to you as you seek your purpose, find your purpose, and you're pursuing your purpose. I really wholeheartedly believe that. And so I'm sharing some things with you today. And as you see in the title of this video, is that your destiny, you're going to find it oftentimes through delay and denial. And so I'm going to share some personal things with you today. But if you come through and you see us on live here tonight, come through and press that heart button. And if you start getting some value out of this video and the things that we're going to be talking about and sharing, please, if you're getting some value out of it, I would love for you to share this video with your neighbors, with your friends, share it with your coworkers, your family. I believe you're going to really get some value out of this. But I want to just double check some things. Make sure that we got audio. Yes, we got audio. But I want to play a video for you first, because when I got home today, I went on Facebook, and on a friend of mine's Facebook page, well, actually it was on my stream, my stream, and I saw a reel that she had posted, and I was like, wow, I got to talk about that. Right. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to double check to make sure that the audio comes through on this, so you'll be able to hear it. You need to hear this. Okay, so let's go ahead and play it, and I'm gonna make sure and check, make sure audio's coming through on it. All right, I'm gonna play this for you, and then we're gonna talk about it. Uh-oh, there we go. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. So you'll be able to hear it. Yep, let me just double check everything real quick here, everybody. Okay, so let's go ahead and play it, and I'm gonna make sure and check, make sure audio's coming through on it. All right. All right, I'm gonna play this for you, and then we're gonna talk about it. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, I want to make sure that we got audio. All right, here we go. Add screen video to stream. Add audio. Auto add. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let me make sure that it's got audio so you all can hear it. Let me just double check everything real quick here, everybody. Okay. Let's try it. Okay, so I don't hear the audio coming through. So let me reset this and see if we can get it to come in. Okay. Let me do this. Hold on one second here. Okay, let me try this again. I want to make sure because I didn't hear the audio coming through on there. So let me just double check something real quick. Audio. Boom, 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 boom. Audio. Because you need to hear this audio. This is going to be very important to hear the audio on this. So let me check. Let me just check and see. How come I'm not getting audio? Because I need you all to hear this. So let me do this. I'm gonna just disconnect that, and I'm gonna go back to share. Heads up before you share audio. Please ensure that you use. Okay, got you. Okay. Screen. Make sure. Boom. Okay. Right here, screen. Boom, boom. I understand. Share tab audio. Yep. Yep. Choose what to share with your talk student audio. Right there. That's what I want to share. Okay, so I think we might have audio now. So let's give it a try. All righty. Because we need to hear the audio on this. So let's try it again.
Look, let me tell you something. This morning I woke up and my dad was like, "Hey son, I need you to drive me to my appointment. It's in a different city." I said, "I got you, no problem." We're on the highway. I got my GPS going and the GPS tells me to get off on an exit that it normally doesn't. My dad immediately was like, "Yo, what are you doing? You're going the wrong way. If you stay straight, it's quicker." I said, "Hey, I'm just following the GPS. I have it set for the quickest route. Maybe there's something up ahead and we can't see. So we get off on the exit. My dad's a little flustered. He's like, oh, I don't want to be late. I got an appointment. We get to a point where we can see the highway and it's backed up. Turns out there was some sort of accident or something. Had we stayed on the highway, the route that we think we're supposed to go, we would have been late to where we need to be. And this is kind of like how God does us. We think we know the way. And because we think we know the way, when God redirects us or takes our life in a direction that we never thought we would go, we start feeling like we're further behind. We're not going to get to where we're supposed to get. But what I love about God is his vision is not like our vision. We can only see to the corner, but God sees around the corner. We can only see to the top of the mountain, but God sees over the mountain. So there's some things that God is directing us to, and because we don't understand it, we think that we're being delayed. We think we're being denied. But God is protecting us from some things. He's steering us away from some things. So to trust God is not just to trust his plan for your life, but it's also to trust his route and his timing. Look.
Oh my God. So look, I had a little delay there getting that up and showing it to you, but I did check. The audio came through real good, loud and clear. So I'm going to play it again. And then I want to just give some context to some things that I want to share about the things he was saying in this video. So shout out to Adrienne Batson, my sister. Shout out to Adrienne Batson for sharing this video, this reel on her Facebook page, because as soon as I heard it, I said, I need to go live and talk about this. So let's play it again for you and listen to it. And then I'm going to come back and just have some things to share with you.
Look, let me tell you something. This morning I woke up and my dad was like, hey son, I need you to drive me to my appointment. It's in a different city. I said, I got you. No problem. We're on the highway. I got my GPS going and the GPS tells me to get off on an exit that it normally doesn't. My dad immediately was like, yo, what are you doing? You're going the wrong way. If you stay straight, it's quicker. I said, hey, I'm just following the GPS. I have it set for the quickest route. Maybe there's something up ahead that we can't see. So we get off on the exit. My dad's a little flustered. He's like, oh, I don't want to be late. I got an appointment. We get to a point where we can see the highway and it's backed up. Turns out there was some sort of accident or something. Had we stayed on the highway, the route that we think we're supposed to go, we would have been late to where we need to be. And this is kind of like how God does us. We think we know the way. And because we think we know the way, when God redirects us or takes our life in a direction that we never thought we would go, we start feeling like we're further behind. We're not going to get to where we're supposed to get. But what I love about God is his vision is not like our vision. We can only see to the corner, but God sees around the corner. We can only see to the top of the mountain, but God sees over the mountain. So there's some things that God is directing us to, and because we don't understand it, we think that we're being delayed. We think we're being denied. But God is protecting us from some things. He's steering us away from some things. So to trust God is not just to trust his plan for your life, but it's also to trust his route and his timing. Look.
That is so awesome. So I wanted to share that with you. And so let's take a quick look here about what does it mean to be delayed. So the definition of delay is to make someone or something late or slow, right? It also is a period of time by which something is late or postponed, to hold up something, to make something wait, detainment, hindrance, and impediment. But let's look at this. This is as a noun, a period of time, right? A period of time. Let me go off of here. I'm going to share my screen on this other part here. I want you to see this. Instead of me just reading it to you, I'm going to share it with you so you can see it. All right. Boom. Share this with you all. So the definition of to delay something is to make something as a verb, to make someone or something late or slow, right? And as a noun, a period of time, right? A space in between one thing and another. So a period of time by which something is late or postponed, delayed, right? Means also to hold up, to make something wait, detainment, hindrance, or an impediment, right? And so a lot of times that's how we feel in our life. And a lot of times our resources and where we are financially in our life is often tied to where we are in terms of um our journey toward our destination or our destiny, toward our purpose and our future. I believe that they're directly tied and linked together. That a lot of times, if you had all the resources that you needed and you was on a particular path or a particular journey, going down a certain road or a certain path in your life, if you had all the resources that you need, you would have no reason to turn and deviate or go another path or do anything different, because oftentimes the money and the resources, we see that as validation, right, that we are doing the right thing. So to be delayed or have something postponed for a period of time, we often then start questioning ourselves on what am I doing wrong. And oftentimes it's nothing you're doing wrong, it's just not time yet. Come on. I think I need to go over to the second friendship, to the page over there, so I can get some amens and some people to talk back to me. Let me go over there to the second friendship page and let's look and see who's tuned in with us. So oftentimes we see money and the resources and the finances as the validation and approval that we are doing what is right. Well, they must be doing something right because look at all the abundance and the resources that they have. So if you're going down a certain path of your life and you got all the money and the resources and everything that you need financially, you would have no reason to turn and go a different way. You would have no reason to question, am I going in the right direction? You would have no reason to re-examine or reevaluate, am I doing the things or pursuing the path or going in the following the path in my life that I'm supposed to follow? Because oftentimes we're going whatever way that we've planned out, that we feel like this is what I want to be doing in my life. This is what I want to do it with my life, right? So we pursue education around that. We pursue relationships around that. We pursue everything around what we see our purpose and our plans and everything, right? And if we got the resources to validate that, we have no reason to second guess or to question or to re-examine, am I really following my purpose? Because with purpose also comes peace, joy, contentment. But a lot of times when you see or feel yourself being frustrated, you should probably stop and question, not start blaming other people for the stumbling blocks, roadblocks, and the hindrances and impediments that you're running into, right? But you should probably start looking inward and examining, am I really experiencing this frustration? Because possibly I need to reevaluate, am I really on my journey and path of my purpose? So to delay something is a period of time by which something is either late or it is postponed. It's not time yet. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It's postponed, right? It doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. It means it's postponed. It's delayed. Yes, sir. So let's look at this. So oftentimes, I firmly believe, and I'm going to share with you some of my own personal story and journey as to why and how I came about this conclusion and this reality, is you will often, more times than not, you will find your purpose through the denial and through the delay. So let's look at what denial is. So denial is a refusal to agree, to comply, or a statement contradiction, the rejection of truth. We know that, right? To deny the truth or deny something as being real or absolute, a proposition or a doctrine, right? like such as a denial of God's existence. We know that. But how about this? A negative reply, a rejection of a request, denial. So also look at this. The action of declaring something to be untrue, right? We know that. That's often how we use the word denial. A statement that something is not true. We really know that as being denial. But what about this one? Can anybody identify with this one? The third one, the refusal of something requested or desired. When your heart is set on something that you desire or something that you believe that you're to accomplish or to achieve or to have in your life, but it is refused what you requesting and what you desire, right? So what happens oftentimes is the frustration that we experience, we start saying it's that person's fault, or it's because this has happened. We develop a victim's complex. Shout out to Anton Daniels. We start running in the victim Olympics. It is very difficult during this time, this interim, to really take accountability for where we are. We often blame something else, discrimination. We blame the mass incarceration of Black people. We blame the broken homes on this or that. We never look inward to take accountability to say, perhaps the reason why these things are happening in my life and I haven't accomplished the things that I thought that I would accomplish by age 25, 30, 35, or 40, perhaps it's really nobody's fault, and it's not the devil or Satan or the enemy, but perhaps it's just not God's time yet for you, because the path that you on, it is, there's a scripture in the Bible says it is not within man to know the path or the steps that he should take. And then there's another scripture in the Bible that talks about that our steps are ordered by God. So check this out. Let me see if I can find this one. Where is it at? Oh, yeah, there it is. I think I got it. Let me see. Do I still have it? Uh-oh. Sorry. Sorry about that. Hold up. Let me see. Oh, I know where it's at. Here it is. It was something that I found that I thought was interesting. Let me find it. Oh, okay. Maybe it's under here. Let me find it, because it was something that I thought was really interesting. And if I don't find it, it's cool. Let me go back one and see if it's over here. No. So I can't find it. I don't know where it's at, but it was a statement, something that I saw. That I thought was real interesting. And also denial also means abstinence, to self-deny yourself. It also means that as well. So if you think about it, truly, again, I go back to, if you had all the resources that you needed, right? You was making the amount of money on your job that you wanted. You had or you was operating a business as an entrepreneur, and you had all the access to cash flow and resources that you needed. Would you even question, are you truly pursuing the path that you that God has set for your life? Because quite oftentimes when you see people and they're angry and they're mean and they're going through different emotional things, right, or certain struggles in their mind, but it seems on the outside looking in, that they have all the resources They got a house, they got all the things that should make people happy. Then why aren't they happy? Could it be that it's not about having the stuff, but could it be that perhaps they should reevaluate, am I truly following my purpose? Because as we follow our purpose and find what our destiny in life is, that is when we'll experience peace and contentment and satisfaction, regardless of the money, in spite of the money. Then we can know our why. A lot of times, the reason why people are not happy, even though they have money, is because they don't know their why. So it made me think about the things that I wanted in my life so badly years ago, back in the 90s, like the mid 90s. I was reading books. I was really deep into Zig Ziglar and Peter Lynch, who was like the fund manager of Magellan. He was hot back then. A lot of you people now, we know Grant Cardone. We know Robert Kiyosaki. I read his book back in the day about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think it was 1996 when the book The Millionaire Next Door came out by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko, I believe. And I mean, I read that. I mean, I remember reading the book Maximized Manhood by Edwin Lewis Cole, reading The Richest Man in Babylon, reading The Wealthy Barber, reading How to Influence When People, when I forgot the name of it, how to win souls and influence people, something like that. I would able to book go. Reading TD Jakes, Maximize the Moment. I mean, these were awesome, powerful books. I was reading books on investing and stocks and real estate and sales, and I was just engrossed in getting this knowledge and learning these things. And I was so engrossed in it. I would read all this material. I was reading Barron's, Kiplinger's, Investors Business Daily. I was just consumed with the ideal, and I saw myself, working as a financial advisor and being a manager, managing people's portfolios. I saw myself, working in the financial services field and, being a fee-based planner, a fiduciary, and doing all these things in the financial world. And, then I went and I applied for a job. I saw it in the paper. I applied for a job. I went out to out in the county out there, and I went in and had my interview, gave them my resume. They saw all of these things on my resume that were entrepreneurial endeavors and things that I was doing in the community and things that was on my resume, all these entrepreneur business things and all that. And they was like, this is the guy that we're looking for. So they hired me, but to go through the program to get all your licensing, it was a no tolerance policy. So basically, for your life, health, accident, and health, you got one chance. You took the test. They would send you to school. The training was like 6 months. It was a 6-month training program just to get in. And you had to go through all the classes, the training, read all the books, the materials. I should have brought it up. I still got my book. I mean, my this thick. And also, before you can get through the process, one of the things we had to do was we had to have a list of 500 leads, all written down in your book with the names, phone numbers, contact information. 500 leads before you even got released to get your license and get your credentials and everything. This was a part of your requirements to make it through the program. So your life, accident, and health, you had one chance. You take it. If you fail, you were done. Right? And then the Series 63, I believe, to get that, you get one chance to take it. If you fail, you're done. And I saw people who I thought was smart with economic degrees, with degrees in bachelor's degrees in mathematics, master's degrees in economics, not being able to pass some of the tests. In fact, one guy, the guy that was in it, they put us in a room 2 by 2 in a little room with cubicles with a little desk. It was kind of dim the lights, and you just studied all day, every day, 5 days a week. Study. And he had a degree in economics, and he went and took the life accident and health test, and he failed it. But they were so enamored by him, and that, man, this guy's going to be great. He's going to do this. He's going to be able to do this. They were so confident in him because his resume looked way better than mine, looked great. So he was on our practice test and stuff. He was scoring outstanding scores on the practice test. My scores, man, was coming in below the average. I mean, I was bad. I was just right here. And I still believed that I could do it. I had read so many books. I was self-taught. I was obsessed with it, right? So he went in to take it. They broke all the protocol and rules. Say, we're going to give him another chance. And instead of me going forward with my testing date, they delayed my testing date, postponed it, right, and put it off, and said, you need to go and study some more. We're going to send you back to the week training. It was a week training we had to go through over there. I don't want to say that because I won't give them, but it was a week training class we had to go through and get certified. They sent me back to take that class again for another week and send him. He's about to take his second test before I'm getting the opportunity to take my first. They postponed my date, sent me back to class. So he went and took it his second time. Came back. I saw him walking through the halls. I could see it on his face. He failed the life accident and health test again, a second time. So I passed the Series 63, which was basically gives you the ability to do fee-based planning, to have the fiduciary standard on your licensing credentials, where you could do fee-based and you could actually charge, to manage people's portfolios and their funds and stuff like that. And you could do write a financial plan, have a fee-based planning, advisory councils, all of this stuff. So I passed the Series 63. I went and took the life accident and health. I came back. I passed it. You hear me? Passed it. Because I was not getting walked out the door. It was not going to happen. I had not come that far. I had not worked and studied that hard. Even before I got that opportunity with them, I hadn't read all them books. I hadn't did all them study and watching all, reading all these magazines, newspapers. I hadn't done all of that just to go up in there to have somebody say, I knew he wasn't going to make it. So I passed the Series 63. I passed the life accident and health. And then they sent me to the Series 7, the big boy. That was a brutal test, right? What's the attrition rate? The attrition rate, I can't even remember what the attrition rate was at the time, right? But it was high. The attrition rate was pretty high. I don't know, 60% or something. It was pretty high back then. So I took the Series 7. The test was like a 2.5 hour test. And I came back, I passed the Series 7 broker's license exam. And I knew that I was on my way. Even before I got my licensing back from the NASD and the Securities and Exchange, got my credentials, all my paperwork back, I had already set up like 3-5 appointments, met with clients. All I was waiting, had gotten checks, waiting, checks, and I was waiting. I was going through, I was rocking, I was getting, so I was doing it. I was doing my thing, right? Thought this is what I was destined to do. James Hollingsworth, the financial advisor, certified finance. And then I was going to get my certified financial planning credentials. I had it all mapped out, planned out. I knew this is what I was going to be doing. But I was experiencing, it was hard. I was experiencing frustration. I was, working 12, 14 hours a day. It was just brutal psychologically, mentally, emotionally, right? And the pressure of managing people's resources and their funds, and it's such very tremendously stressful. And so I was in the program, I was doing all of this. I came out the program, got my licensing, did all doing it, working. But honestly, folks, I was not happy. I was quite miserable. I didn't really like the environment I was working in, cutthroat. The people, personalities are like bananas. They about as lively. Their personalities are about as lively as as a a duck walking on oil. I mean, just I was just not happy. And I spent some time there, and finally I was like this, and it was just so much happening, so much going on. I hated it. All of this time that I spent reading books for years and studying and wanting to get in and having this opportunity, finally getting in, getting all my licensing credentials, everything paid for, training, all of this, making it through, getting what I thought I wanted, and was miserable. Absolutely not happy. And so as time went on, I started thinking that, hey, perhaps because I was working at a church full time on staff, doing youth ministry. Shout out to Larry Lee, Agape Christian Center. And I worked there for, I think, how long was I at Agape? Like 10 years or something like that. Youth ministry, music ministry, assistant to the pastor, doing like his associate, like his administrative assistant. And I just thought, well, maybe I started sensing like, well, maybe I feel like God is calling me to pastor, God calling me to, to be a leader, of a congregation. So I started delving into that and setting up some things, licensing and different things like that, and thinking that was the direction of my life was supposed to move in. And that's how I ended up moving from St. Louis, Missouri. Shout out to the Loop to Michigan. The Show Me State, St. Louis, Missouri, and moving to Michigan and going to a Bible class at this particular church and thinking that I was going to go through this training and perhaps get sent out and be in ministry. And the next thing you know, all of these plans and things that I was pursuing and thinking that this was going to be my life, I had figured it all out. But by the time I reached age 40, I was going to be a millionaire. I had already, at that time, I had 2 houses. I already had 2 homes, right? Had tenants in both homes. I mean, I just knew by 40, I was going to be millionaire. And I had everything planned out. And the next thing you know, sucker punch. Y'all don't know nothing about getting hit in the kitchen, in the back of your neck or something, in the back of your head with a sucker punch. I felt like I got sucker punched, and all of my hopes, dreams, and everything knocked out of me. Like, I played sports back in the day, so you don't know nothing about getting the wind straight knocked out of you. I felt like I got the wind knocked out of me. Divorce. I went from thinking I was going to be pursuing all my dreams to being divorced and then losing everything. House, everything from divorce. And it just kept on spiraling downhill from there. Thought I was just about to reach my dreams and everything was going to, next thing that, and then next thing you know, I'm homeless, sleeping on the floor in a vacant house. And things, I won't tell you all the interim parts, but things from there on, moving up the ladder from there, boom, 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 boom. Series of things happening. Got a job here. Friend of mine hooked me up to go, and his mother was renting out her basement. I got a job enough to pay it for things, and I won't even tell y'all all the story. I tell you enough, right? I catch you up to where we are today, right? But we're talking about finding destiny through delay and denial. And when you think that you're on the path to achieve your goals and dreams and to do all these things that you planned in your mind and saw the picture and image that your life was going to be, and having all of that snatched from you, having the rug, the carpet pulled from underneath your feet, everything stripped away, losing everything, going from that to zero to nothing, right? And so as time moved forward, I started getting jobs. At one time I was working about 7 jobs. I was working about 7 jobs and still was struggling making ends meet and everything. I was doing all these things. And I remember the church I was at, we went to this conference down in Columbus, Georgia. Shout out to the legacy of Dr. Ann Hartman. And we was at the meeting. This was on a Wednesday night. I'm still trying to put the pieces of my life together. And it's probably been 3-4 years. And I'm still trying to put my life back together, trying to find out, where did I miss God? What did I miss? I thought this is what I was going to be doing on life. I thought where I had to re-examine everything that I thought was going to be my future and the things that I thought was going to make me happy. And the image that I saw my life and my family and everything. I had to reconfigure, literally just dissipate that whole image and start from scratch. And so we're at this conference in Columbus, Georgia. It's a Wednesday night. Dr. Ann Hartman, she's up teaching and sharing the word. And then out of nowhere, it's like she just turned and stopped talking about everything that she had planned to talk about. And then she said she felt led to tell us and share with us the previous week. Now, we're still in Michigan. The conference is the following week. We're there that Wednesday night. She started talking about the previous Wednesday night during like a Bible study or something at the church, how as she was up talking, in the middle of her talking and delivering her message, her sermon, she started just out of nowhere telling people that, hey, God's about to bless you all with increase in jobs and promotions. And she started saying this, talking about what had happened the week prior. She said, as she was standing there the week prior, delivering her sermon, in the middle of her sermon, God stopped her and told her to tell the people that was there, God's about to start giving you jobs and promotions and an increase on your jobs and transition in your jobs so that you can make more money and increase this and all these things. She said, as she was telling them that, she said, as she was sharing that with them, she said, people start getting emails and text messages and stuff. As she was telling them that, they start getting job offers and replies to their to the promotions, about promotions, and right there as it was happening, she was talking about that. They started getting emails and text messages and stuff. As she is sharing this on this Wednesday night about what she had told them last Wednesday, my phone buzzed, because I had it on vibrate. My phone buzzed, and I looked down, and it was a text message from someone about a job. Not just any job, but he wanted to know, was anybody interested in this new program that our utility company was having, this new program, and they were looking for people to give them referrals. I text back, yes, I'm interested. He sent out the information. Soon as we got that, this happened as she was up telling about what happened last week and saying she felt the same thing tonight was about to happen. As she was talking, my phone buzzed. I went from the church, went back to the hotel. Luckily, for some reason, I had brought my computer with me all the way from Michigan to Columbus, Georgia. I had brought my computer. So I went connected to the Wi-Fi at the hotel, did the application, did everything, blah, 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 blah. And guess what? 8 months later, I was working somewhere making more money than I had ever seen. I went from 7 jobs that was barely scraping by, meeting my needs, to 1. And at the time, I even thought, well, maybe perhaps I should try the whole financial advisory thing again and the whole financial services thing again. And a friend of mine was trying to recruit me into a financial services business and things that she was involved in. And perhaps this is what I'm still supposed to do. So I had enrolled in college. I was getting student loan debt accruing, taking a double major in finance and business administration management, doing a double major. I said perhaps this is still what I'm supposed to do. So I started going back down that path, and then all of a sudden this opportunity opened up, and it was so life changing financially. I dropped out of school. I literally put all of that aside and said, that's not what I'm supposed to do. And as the time went by, that was like 10 years ago. And as the time has gone by progressively through all of that stuff that I thought I was going to do and was supposed to do with my life, and I wasn't happy, today since that time, I have found my purpose. I know exactly what path my life is supposed to take because God has not just revealed it to me. Some of you will ask, well, how did you find it? I found it through all the denials and the delays and the postponements and pursuing the stuff that I wanted and nothing working. And then the next thing I know, this falls into my lap out of nowhere, sitting in a church service on a Wednesday night as the pastor teaching about a prophetic thing that she had spoke the week before and was feeling like she should say it again tonight. And boom, my phone gets a text message. And it was from a good friend of mine who I met from teaching, and I was teaching his 2 children, giving them piano lessons. Shout out to Alcus. Shout out to my brother. And so here it is. It's 10 years later from the time I applied and went through the process, the orientate, everything I had to go through, and I've never been happier in my life. And last year, I believe that God touched my heart. He spoke to me some things about resources and money and finances and legacy and building generational wealth and building financial legacy, and some things that he spoke to me and shared to me. And he gave me an outline. I wrote it down on paper. I outlined it. He told me to go on the internet and start looking at some things that I looked at, and put all these pieces came together. And then he put on my heart to start sharing on Facebook. So I just started sharing some impromptu videos and things. And then he started sharing with me the ideal and the vision about the Working People's Podcast, and sharing with people who are just everyday, ordinary working people. You may not ever be an entrepreneur or run, a business and a 7-figure business. You may not ever do that. You may not ever have a 6-figure job. You may not ever, be earning $300,000 from that may not ever be your path. You may not ever own a real estate portfolio. None of those things may not be your lot in life. But because of all the training that I got that was paid for and free, that I was pursuing that journey in my life, because of all the knowledge that I got from that season in my life, I never forgot those things. I just knew that wasn't my path to take anymore. But what I'm doing now is polar opposite. There's like no correlation between that and this that I'm doing now. But I am so happy. I'm so content. I know my purpose. God has given me, it's all written down. The next 30, 40 years of my life are all written down. The legacy that how I'm supposed to pass things from this generation to the next generation, all of that's written down. Everything is planned out and written down from the vision that God gave me for not just my life, but for the next 4 generations of my family. It's all been written out and planned out. This is to happen. Then this passes to this generation. This passes. He shared all of that with me. And then he put on my heart to begin to share with you all and share with people the knowledge that I learned when I was pursuing my life in financial services and financial advisory planning, to begin to share that and give that to people, because I was feeling like I was flooded. I had all of this stuff inside of me, and it's like I was just, anytime I got a chance to, I've talked to family and friends and people that I know about the different things, but it got to the point where I felt like I had so much in me. I had to get it out. I had to share it. And so that's kind of how the podcast started coming about, me needing to share this knowledge and these things that I had learned for so many years, and all of this knowledge that they gave me, and the training and the I had to share it. I couldn't. It's like the more I kept it to myself, I don't want to say it felt like I was I don't want to say that, but I felt like I literally, I just had to share it. I don't even know how to necessarily express it, but I'm telling you that as I have found my purpose, and it was made so clear to me, to the point where it was so clear I was able to write it down. And I would encourage you to write down your purpose. Write it down, because when God gives it to you, in fact, the scripture says, write the vision, make it plain, so that he that hears it or sees something like that, he may run with it. So literally it gives the picture of, there's a person running, but they look over and they see a sign that tells them and gives them direction, right? And because it's written in big letters and it's written so plainly, that the runner gets inspired, motivated, and they literally they know what they're supposed to go and share and tell as the message, because it's written so boldly and clearly as they're running, right? So as you get vision and purpose from your life, and it comes out of struggle and it comes out of pain, the resources are just being held up and stored up, waiting for you to find your purpose, right? What happened to the prodigal son? Because he didn't know his purpose, he squandered his inheritance. He wasted his inheritance. He wasted everything that was meant to be passed to him as the legacy of his father. He wasted it because he didn't know his purpose. So he connected with people that wasn't no good for him, that wasn't going to be a part of him knowing and pursuing and following the path of reaching his destiny and purpose. And those people used him. They took from him. And he just squandered his wealth. But as he was down at the lowest point of his life, the Bible describes he was down there eating with the swine, with pigs. And I don't know if any of you ever been in the South and know what a pig trough looks like. But he was eating with the pigs. And pigs, often they wallow in the mud because the sun burns their skin. So they have to roll themselves in the mud to keep their skin from being burned. But he was down there in the mud eating. Literally, you could feed pigs slop. They eat slop. So this dude had fallen so low that he was eating slop. But the Bible says he came to himself when he was at the lowest point of his life. And that's what I want to encourage you, because that same experience happened to me. I had a reawakening. So I'm telling you, come to your senses, come to yourself, go through the reawakening, the restoration of what new life and new purpose and what it all looks like for you. And then you'll experience contentment and peace and happiness. And you won't need anything external to make you happy. Then you will find your why. And that's the resources that's being stored up and waiting for you. As they get released to you, you will now have purpose in how you use those resources, not just for your life, but for the generations to come, for your children, for your children's children. You will have a vision that supersedes your natural lifespan. But you will find that purpose and the resources to go along with it as you go through and be patient and go through. There's another scripture that says in the Bible that after you have suffered a while, the Lord will establish you and he will make you whole, complete, full, content, satisfied. Yes, satisfied, content, at peace. And as the resources are released to you and they just naturally will happen and occur as you're following your purpose, you will find your destiny through the denial and through the delay and through everything that seems like it's been postponed for a period of time in your life. You may even feel like me, how I've felt at times, like I'm a late bloomer, like certain things I thought should have happened earlier or sooner in my life. But I found out, but there is never a time that's too late. Just because it's postponed doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And your destiny and the resources that you need to fulfill your purpose and reach your destiny is wrapped up in you being able to persevere through the delays and continue to be steadfast through the denial. Because just because, like I said, something is postponed doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It's just not meant to happen between this and this, but it's going to happen because it's destined to happen, and the resources are stored up and waiting for you to find your purpose so that they can be released to you so that you can walk in your purpose. You cannot fulfill your purpose without the resources to go along with it. So therefore, just because you're going through some delays and some denials, it does not mean that your destiny is not going to happen. So I encourage you, find your purpose, and all the resources that you need will chase you down to make sure that you accomplish your purpose and what God has called and sent you to do. I hope that if you've gotten some value out of this, you want the resources, you want to have the financial legacy, well, get the vision from God and write it down so that you can leave this legacy with them. Did I share with you? Yes, I did in the last video that I just did. That 80% since 1996, we have consistent data. In fact, let me show it to you. You need to see this. I need to show you this. Yes, you need to see this. Let me pull this up. Let me go. Sorry about that. Let me go. Yes, right here. Let me show you. Let me pull this back up. Is this it? Nope. Yeah, here it is. So yeah, 1996. Since 1996, and studies and data shows that 80% of all millionaires are new millionaires. 80%. Why is that? Because, let me make sure I got the statistics right. As the resources are accumulated in the lifespan of the person, right? They pass it to the next generation. Statistical data shows that 70% of that wealth will get lost by the next generation. And then by the time it gets to the third generation, 90% of that wealth is gone. So therefore, since 1996, we see that 80% of all millionaires are new millionaires, because the cycle keeps going round and round, because as the resources gets passed from generation to generation, because they don't understand their purpose, and they don't understand the connection of their purpose to the purpose and the legacy that's being passed to them, 70% of that wealth gets lost by the next generation. And by the time it reaches the grandchildren or the third generation, whoever those people will be, which are the descendants, it could be nieces and nephews, but whoever that is, by the time it gets to them, because they don't know the legacy of the one that accumulated the resources and the purpose of why they accumulated those resources, then by the time it gets to the third generation, 90% of the wealth has been depleted. It's gone. And that statistical data has been consistently the same since 1996. So, that being the case, we need to make sure that the legacy that we want to pass and leave, that it must be clear to me, to you. You must absolutely unequivocally know what your mission and purpose in life is, so that when you hand these resources and your legacy to the next generation, you can tell them not only what are the expectations, but this is why these resources have been accumulated, and I'm now entrusting them into your care and passing them to you to be responsible for, so that you can grow and continue to manifest and be an extension of the purpose and the legacy. Oh, I can go on and on and on, but it's so much value in this video, this live presentation that we're doing right now. And I hope that is helping you, helping other people excel, that you're getting some value out of this. If you are, drop me some comments, give me some hearts and some likes or something, right? And share this video with somebody that needs to hear this message. They may be going through something themselves. And a lot of times when we talk to people that are going through some discouragement, depression, sadness, they're downtrodden, whatever the case may be, a lot of times, just because we have a love for them, we think that that in itself is going to pull them out of the funk, out of that discouragement. No, what's going to pull them out of that discouragement is seeking and finding their purpose and their destiny in it, in the delay, in the denial, in the postponement, in the frustration, finding their purpose. Then their joy will be restored, and their strength and life and vitality will come back to their countenance and to their face and to their personality. But I encourage you, you can't write this vision and make it plain when it's obscure to you and mixed with your own desires and what you feel like you want, and the frustration and all of these things mar it and make it not clear and visible. Yes. And so I encourage you, make it a priority to find your purpose and stop playing the name it and blame it game and walk and running in the victim Olympics, because every time we run in the victim Olympics, we fumble the bag and we misappropriate the resources that is meant for us to build a legacy with and pass it from generation to generation. I hope that you got some value out of this video. I hope you come through, and I hope that this falls on a heart that's ready to receive, something that could potentially pull, literally yank you out of your state of feeling sorry for yourself and feeling like perhaps you've missed out and that your time has passed. If you got some value out of this video, I love to see some thumbs up, some hearts, some comments. Drop me some tear emojis if it touched you to the point where it struck a chord in your heart. Yes. But if you found some value in this video, please don't keep it to yourself. Share this content with somebody that needs to hear this message about finding your destiny through the delays and through the denials. And if you found some value in it, as you share the video, press the thumbs up, the like and heart button on YouTube, subscribe. Also, as you subscribe, press the notification bell. You get notified as we upload new videos and new content. But I got to go. James Hollingsworth, the Working People's Podcast, where everybody desires to build generational wealth and a financial legacy for their families. Yes, I got to go. I'm out. Thanks you for watching. I got to go. I'm out.